Thanks everybody for telling me. How about now? Is this better? All right. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Already we're getting great action in the chat and everything, the engagement. We always love it. Thank you again. If you haven't found the chat yet to tell me that you can't hear me, go there now. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. What should we talk about today? What's your morning drink of choice? Coffee? Tea? Just plain water? Other? Let me know in the chat if you want to get a little crazy today. Let me know there. Mountain Dew. Actually, we have a coworker that likes Mountain Dew in the morning as well. We got water. I'm a coffee guy myself. Coca-Cola, nice. I see most people go for caffeine. Some people don't. Coffee. That's what I like to hear. Awesome. Thanks, guys. This is awesome. Thank you. So we're going to be going over the custom branding today. Like I said, it's a premium feature that can, I mean, it's really simple, honestly, and it's in the idea of it, but it's designed to just give a little extra touch to your contracts and to the experience that you provide to external guests. Admittedly, it's going to be pretty quick. This webinar will be pretty quick. I don't expect it to take super long. And so the chat and the Q&A, which you guys now know are available to you. It will remain available so you can ask me questions. And we also have people, if I can't answer them, verbally, people will either, also we have people in here that can answer your questions in the Q&A. But also, since this will be really quick, this time is for you, right? I have things to present, but we don't have to restrict it just to the custom branding information. And so if you have stuff that's not over custom branding, save it till the end. We'll have plenty of time that we can add it on the back end. We can talk about things. My name is Blake, and I'm a customer success manager with Concord. I'm one small member of a large support team that is here to support you. We have other amazing customer success managers that are ready to talk to you and talk through your problems and talk through your interests as well. And so we are really looking forward to connecting with you. So without further ado, let me jump in and talk about custom branding. So when we're talking about custom branding, we're really just talking about two things. Two things is what we're going to talk about today, and they're all revolving around the emails that are sent out from Concord. So mostly this is a feature if you're utilizing Concord for e-signature. Every single person here, if you have a Concord account, you're paying for full e-signature tools, and you're paying for an unlimited amount of them. You can send an unlimited amount of documents to your external parties, to internal parties, right? You can send as many documents as you want out to people, all included in your subscription. And if you're on our enterprise subscription, then you can even brand those emails to look more like what you want, right? You can take away, they're all going to be Concord. They're all going to be sent from a Concord email unless you utilize our custom branding. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Ideas of this, right? Let's say you want to just provide more of a personal touch. You want to provide more of your personal touch, or you want the contracts to look more legitimate. Some people are like, have had customers say, our external parties don't know yet about Concord. And so I also want to just assure them that it's coming from me. That's a huge benefit to the custom branding, is that the email will come directly from you. Okay, question already. So wait, this is just for enterprise customers. That was confusing. Yes, this is an enterprise feature that is available for enterprise customers. It's one thing that we believe adds value to your account. But yes, this is an enterprise level feature. So to get started, I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm going to tell you guys where you bring this in and give you a short demo okay, this is actually a great question. How do you know if you are enterprise level? Let's just jump straight into that. So you can ask us, you can send me a question. Admins are going to be the only people. Actually, that's not true. To give you a black and white answer, how do you know if you're an enterprise level customer? Admins will be able to find from their settings button in the bottom left-hand corner. They'll be able to go from settings to subscription. This will tell you the plan. You see here, I'm on demo. Makes sense, right? But it will tell you whether or not you're standard, pro, enterprise on our old plans, or also now we have shifted. You might see essentials, business, or enterprise. So this is a good indication. If you are not an admin, let's talk about how do you know what plan you're on. One enterprise level functions. Let me see here. Let's talk about integrations, you'll know if you're unlimited, that means you're an enterprise. But right, you'll know that you're a pro if you have these integrations available. Well, you'll know that you're a pro plan, like the second, or business maybe if you have reports available to you. Other things, enterprise sometimes are more specific, right? Okay, so all right, so that's how you indicate if you're a essentials or business, right? All right. From the settings page, right here, right, this is where you're going to enable custom branding. So there are two things again that we're talking about: adding your logo to emails that are sent out and choosing what the email is that the contracts are sent from. Okay. That's how you, those are the two things that we can add for your custom branding. So this is a feature that can be activated by admins on your account. You'll go to preferences and you'll scroll down to custom branding. So again, I hit settings. I then went to preferences and then scroll down to find custom branding. So clicking this button, you'll have your opportunity to update your logo. And then also you can set up your personalized email sender. The logo, good news is you can do this all on your own. You don't need to work with an IT person internally. You don't need to reach out to us to set it up. You can do this all here. But personalized email sender, you will have to reach out to us and also reach out to your IT team to set this up. Before I show you how to do it, I want to show you guys what actually an email looks like if you're not familiar from the external party, and not everyone sees them all the time. So here's an email that was sent that I sent a test account to Jonathan Bradley, CEO of Skateboards R Us. So you see here, it'll say, Blake sent an email. If you don't have custom branding set up, it'll always say one of these emails as the email that it's sent from. It'll either say hi@mail.concordnow.com or hello@mail.concordnow.com. So that's without custom branding turned on. It'll also show you the logo up here, right? It'll show you the Concord logo up here, and it'll be Concord branded. I want to bring attention to the reply to address. So if I click more details here in my Gmail inbox, it'll see that if I hit reply, it'll send to the actual internal Concord person that sent the document. So if I hit replies, if I want to leave a message to the person that sent me the document, I can do that by hitting reply, and it'll go to the person that sent me the document, right? So now I'm going to go back and we're going to show you how to add a logo. So I'm switching back to my paid account where I'm an administrator with an enterprise subscription. If I want to add a logo, I come up here to update new logo. Important thing to note is the file size here. Really, I think if you keep within the pixel limit, you shouldn't have issues with the size. Reach out to your Concord support person, or just support@concord.app if you need help with this. But I'm going to update new logo and bring in my company logo. I did Google company logo and I used this example. But what we'll do is we'll actually show you an example, an email preview of what it'll look like, adding your logo to it. So I'm going to save it to activate that. So that's how you add a logo to your emails. Let's talk about the custom email address. So there's really just two steps that you have to do. First, send us the email address that you want your contracts to come from. Send us the emails that you want your contracts to come from is the first step. And then the second step need to be done by like an IT person, probably. Whoever it actually is done by is up to you guys, but you have to change the DKIM and the SPF records to match our IP address. This is something that I can absolutely help you with. We can send details for it later if you want, but reach out to us. Basically, the most important thing is just email us, support@concord.app, and say, hello, I want to set up my personalized email sender. I want it to come from this email address here. Then we'll follow up with the instructions for the SPF and the DKIM. I do have two questions in the chat. I'm going to answer one first regarding the email, and then I'll get to the other one. It was, can you have more than one email address? No, you cannot have more than one email address. All of them will come, regardless of who is, whether or not it's me or my colleague or any other internal user, they'll all come from this one email address. And then this kind of ties into the other question: are the logos tied to the individual's account? Are they tied to the subscription? It is tied to the subscription or the organization, right? The whole organization is what it's tied to. So two great questions. Thanks for asking them. Encourage you guys, keep going to the chat, keep going to the Q&A if you have more questions. A couple things from the personalized email sender. So again, I want to remind you that it's going to tell, the email that you send us is who the contract is going to be sent from. But a quick point of note is that it will be sent to external parties only. It will be sent to external parties only. Quick comment about, if you utilize Concord already and you've used it for a long time, you may know this. We talk about internal users and external guests a lot. Internal users are people with licenses. External guests are everyone else. So you can have people that have the same @organization.com email domain as you, but if they're not actually a user on your account, if they don't have a license, they're considered an external party. And so as a reminder, the personalized email senders, that email address will only be seen by external parties that you see. So I have a question. Let me read it out loud to make sure I understand it. To confirm, the customized email simply replaces the default concordnow.com. Yes. All communication back and forth will continue happening in the platform between the salesperson and their client contacts as normal. Yeah, it depends. I think so the first part of your question, the customized email simply replaces the default concordnow.com email address. The answer to that question is yes. The next question is all communication back and forth will continue to happen in the platform. That's up to you. So it doesn't change anything about that. We want everything to happen in the platform, and so people will still be encouraged to open the document and go for it. Well, why don't I just show you? But this is up to like your salesperson or your client contacts. So now if I create an email from absolutely, hit the new document button. I like to do draft and sign. Let me start from a random template. I think what I'll have to do is bring in a document here. All right, it doesn't matter what mode you're in, right? All of your processes happen as normal. And again, this is if you're sending out contracts, this is when it's best, right? But if I go to share and send it with John Bradley, I send it to him, it'll send him an email, right? It'll send him an email. And again, what I want to remind you guys is that I'm not able in my demo environment to fully change the email address. So we're going to have to use our imaginations here, but I'm going to reshare my screen and show you back in that email account to show you at least the logo has been updated. It's a really quick change. So this came through, you can see just a minute ago. I already opened it in the background here, but you'll notice already the company logo is changed. Still encouraged to open up the document. Maybe I'll do this in another tab. Right. What you'll notice is if I hit reply, it says the person's email. We don't encourage people to do that, right? Because I think as to the person's point that asked the question previously, ideally it happens all within Concord as normal, but that is an option. But again, if I were to set up my custom email sender, this email address would be whatever I want. Common things that I see are people do like contracts@company.com, company@contracts.com or something like that, right? I have a question. Will you share this presentation? Yeah, if you're registered for the webinar, you should get a recording of it. Also, if you have someone maybe that wasn't signed up for it, feel free to reach out to us, support@concord.app. We'll be happy to get this recording to whoever would like it. But yeah, we'll share this presentation if you signed up for the webinar. All right. And then just, nothing changes as far as functionality. If you remember, I clicked to open this document in another page, which is open up here. So now what I'm doing, hey, look, now what I can do, I can do my whole process as normal. This person was a limited editor, so they're not able to edit the document, but what they can do is maybe leave inline comments, right? So the back and forth can still continue in here. If they were a full editor on the document, they can come and hit the edit button, make the changes. Your salespeople, your legal representatives, your procurement, they can all do it within here, right? So the idea, I think what people really like, again, is that credibility, that just lets them know that this contract came from your organization, because it would say, this comes from, company A, right? It'll come from your company. So, like I said, this was going to be quick. I hope I did it well. I hope I explained it to you guys well. I can go over things if you guys would like, but I'm going to open up the floor to actually just questions over custom branding. Are there any other custom branding questions that you guys have for me? Throw them in the Q&A, throw them in the chat. I'll look for them. and answer them if I can. What I'm also going to do while you guys are maybe going to the chat, going to the Q&A, I'm going to post a link. If you guys have been to our webinars, know that know that this is, I've done this before. If you guys want to learn more about this, want to talk more about what it looks like, or need more help setting it up, you can also go to this link. I encourage you, if this is interesting to you, click the link and sign up for a call with us. We'd be happy to talk through it, happy to give you some more examples, talk through your business use case. Go to that link, sign up for time, and we'd be happy to talk with you. So another question I have here in the chat is, will this help with these emails going to junk folders? Admittedly, I'm not able to answer that question. I'm not exactly sure if that will help or if that will not help. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that question, unfortunately. Yeah. My thought is it probably should, because it's coming from a different email address. But do note that we are aware that some emails do go to junk folders. So one thing I recommend, have people whitelist the email address, but know that we're also looking at other ways on the back end that we can improve this. It doesn't happen too often in our experience, but absolutely we want to make this better for you guys. Does anybody else have any questions before we open the floor up to other any random topics? Since we have extra time, we can do that. Does anybody have any other questions for me over custom branding? Okay, here we have a little additional info. Whether you keep Concord now or your own domain, you have to ask the recipient to whitelist the domain in question, just for your information. So that was helpful. Thanks for the engagement to the community. That's helpful. I guess that one went to everybody. See, I saw that, but the enterprise level is not an a la carte program. That's a good question. It is not an a la carte program, but things that you get at the enterprise level. So actually, a lot of what we're talking about, we're actually doing a series right now talking about some specific features. And so last week we talked about, oh my goodness, clause library. Today we're talking about custom branding. Next week we're talking about subsidiary management. We're actually going to have a customer demo it for us. And then the following week we are going to talk about API and building things with API. Those are all enterprise level features, and they're things that people really love. Another enterprise level feature is SSO, single sign-on. Those are typically things that people need to, in order to have that, get the most out of their Concord account. Yeah. And with that, let's open it up the floor. Yeah, definitely bring in the other questions, bring them on. I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't, we can take things offline and chat. So bring on the other questions. What else do you guys got for me? Throw them in either the Q&A or the chat. Also, I want to encourage you guys, as customer success managers, try to make ourselves available as possible. I'm sure I've met with some of you on calls before, on private calls. If you are dealing with things, or if you have these questions, don't wait for these webinars. Feel free, please reach out to us, support@concord.app. We are happy to meet with you, to email with you, back and forth, and help you get the most out of your Concord account. All right. Is there a way to reset the template wording that gets sent out to people instead of "please read this contract" or whatever it automatically says? All right. Is there a way to reset the template wording that gets sent out to people instead of? Yes, absolutely there is. So here's a question here. So if you guys remember, let me just share my screen, go back to my other document. If you remember right, I think what this person is saying, feel free, individual, to let me know, give me some affirmation if I'm on the right path here. But this document says, please review this document on Concord. Also, the subject of the email says, this person, invitation to join. Everybody can change this. This is a feature everybody can take advantage of. Those two things that I highlighted, the subject and the body of this message right here, can be changed. So if this is something that you've dealt with, listen up. I'd be happy to tell you how you can change it. I'm going to reshare my screen. Okay. So if I go up to the share button, Oh, so the question is, but can we change it as a setting and not just every time? Not currently. This sounds like a good feature request that we'll submit for you. This is an every time thing. So maybe if that's so, I think maybe if that's the direction you're going, I'm going to keep going. We'll just show you how to change it. But if you're asking about every time, no, not necessarily. But the idea here is if I want to choose a person for this to go to, I'm able to change it here. I'm able to change it here. If I hit this little gear icon, I can even edit the subject, right? So that's where I said you can change the body of it. You can change the subject. But you can also create a message template so that you can change this every time. You can change it every time. Absolutely. And I think I mentioned this in every call. Guys, we're on an exciting season to be customers of Concord, also to be a customer success manager with Concord. We just got out of a super long call where the product teams were showing us some exciting things that are coming your way. We want to build things for you guys that you guys truly benefit from. And so this is a great example of an area where we can create something that would benefit you from that would benefit you. So we'll take this into consideration. We'll submit it to the team to make it so that this message is changed every time. But for those of you who don't know, you can modify this. You can change it. You can even templatize that message. All right. Our clients don't want to be asked to whitelist. That is a big hurdle for us when they go to the signer spam folders. You mentioned Concord is working on the back on this. Absolutely. Yes, we understand. We know, not only do we want to provide a premium experience for you, we want you guys to be able to provide a premium experience to your external guests. And so absolutely, we know that that is a huge hurdle. So yeah, absolutely. Can you show us how to templatize? Absolutely. Yeah. So templatizing these messages that get sent out to documents, or excuse me, to individuals. This is something that happens on the individual level. So these message templates that I'm creating, only I'll be able to use, not my other users. And so if I'm able to, so let me give it a title, maybe say, I'm just going to call it invitation to join. So when I send this out to anybody, I know that this is an invitation to join. This is just a message title. This is just a message title that I'll use so that I'll know what it is. Here I can change the subject. So company, so this is what I want the message email subject to say. Company A needs, can't spell. Feeling the pressure. I can't type. So this is the subject that it will change to every time. And then here, so I can say, please leave. Right? This is where you give your instructions. This is where you say, you can say, click the blue button, highlight your text and leave an inline comment. Go to the edit button. Here's where you can give some instructions. So just creating this template here or typing this information in, as a reminder, I went to here, message template or create message template. But if I hit send, now what I've done is I've created a message template. So the next time I go up and maybe choose this person to share it with, I can click the settings button and I can go to use message template. So here's that one that I just created. Awesome. So there we go. Another thing, love a way to make message templates for certain forms we currently have to do electronically. Yeah, I can see that. I think that kind of goes to the other point too, that where you have if you have a specific document, you can have a specific message template. We'll add those details to the feature requests that we create for you. That's a great, so kind of tied to this question, will this template, this one that I just created, will this be available throughout other contracts, or is it just like for this one template? So this is actually available for all contracts. And actually what you can do, if I go to my home menu up at the Concord button, go down to settings in the bottom left-hand corner, and then in this message templates, everybody has this. I can actually see all of the message templates that I've created. So to answer your question, this is used, Glory, this is used on all documents. This is used on all documents. You can create them here and modify them further from here as well. All right, next question. When you create message templates, can you use custom text features like bold, underline, and bullet points? Good question. No, so we don't have those text capabilities in this message template. It's a great idea. Guys, this is a great idea. Again, we're in a season of aggressive product growth, creating not only things that we think would be beneficial, but that would or tell us would be beneficial. It's a great thing to add to that feature request that we'll do for you. Thank you. All right. All right. Moving on from message templates, we have a question about folders. How do you delete a shared folder that you accidentally made? So this is for admins only. If this is something that you've thought about, This is for admins only. So how do you delete a shared folder that you accidentally made? Right, so folders you can find over here. You even have the ability. So what I like to say here, actually, if you're a general user, this is like when you like to, this is where I like to say, use your folders here. If you're an admin, if you want to add or delete or modify folders, you can technically do so from these three buttons right here. I encourage you to do that. But what I like to do is go to my settings if I'm an admin and adjust those settings from the folders tab over here. You can see at a glance more information and do all the functions like deleting or like renaming that we'll talk about that I see another question about. So if I want to delete a folder, all I have to do is highlight it and delete it. Highlight it and delete it. However, I see a couple documents are in here. I am not able to delete a document, or excuse me, I'm not able to delete a folder if there are documents in it. So if you accidentally create a folder, that's easy. You can just delete it right away. Oops. Let's name this oops. Create it right here. You'll notice it has no folders in it or no documents in it. So just a quick highlight and delete will work. Right? There we go. A quick highlight and delete will work for you. If you have documents in here, go and move the documents, go and delete the documents, and you'll be good to go. One issue people run into is that some of these documents in here, if there's one in here and you swear you've gone back to that folder every time and there's still documents in it, it's because there's drafts in there. And even admins aren't able to see drafts. We have exciting changes coming up that will change the way access is granted to folders. Pretty far out, but look out for that. But anyway, ask your users, hey guys, can you go and clear out those drafts so I can delete this folder? How do you rename a folder? You can come and hit the edit button and you can rename it here. Hit the edit button and rename it here. Also, you can change that this is a subfolder or a parent folder. From here, you can even just like take all those folders and maybe make it a parent folder by unclicking this, or you can make it a subfolder by clicking this and choosing which folder it goes into. All righty. We maybe have time for one more questions. The question here is, are you saying admins will be able to see drafts in the future? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Get excited. It's coming. Admins will be able to see drafts in the future. All right. Yep, that would indeed be handy if someone leaves the company. I have time for one more question, and then we're going to have to go here. Suggestion to tell people when something is... Oh, got it. Yeah. Good call. The remaining the question, suggestion to tell people when it's a enterprise. That's a good call. Okay, last final question that I can answer for you guys. How do you move a contract from a personal folder to a shared folder if the person is no longer an employee? So what you're looking at here is admin access, right? So currently there isn't a way to like go into user A's personal folder, but if you're an admin and you have access to the documents that lie within their folder, they'll be here in your inbox. They'll be here. Now, currently, what I recommend doing, right? If this person is no longer an employee, first what I would recommend is have your IT like go in as with their email address, log in, change their password so that they can do it themselves, or like so your IT or someone can do it yourself. If that's not a route that you can go, you're going to scroll through and you're going to look for these eyeballs. These mean that they are administrator access. These means that you have access to them because you're an administrator, but they may be in someone else's folder. Good news though is you can bulk move these. You can bulk move these, highlighting them and moving them here. All right. Guys, I have to run. I appreciate all the time, all of the questions. If you have more questions, reach out to us, support@concord.app. We are excited to hear from you. We're excited to hear your feedback and to answer your questions and connect with you. If you want to learn more about this feature or others and you want a demo of them, that link I sent, I'll just drop it in the chat one more time. Maybe I won't. Having trouble. Anyway, go to that link, scroll up in the chat. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for attending. Take care.